My name is Melanie. Welcome to Gentle class today. We'll go ahead and come onto our mats. And as you make your way to your mat, you'll begin in child's pose. But before you sink the body into that child's pose, go ahead and take those knees out to the edges of your mat if it's comfy for you. Relax or sit the hips down on the ground. And once you relax and sit the hips down on the ground, you'll begin to crawl your hands forward. You may want to release the forearms or the elbows down to the ground right here. Or if it's accessible to you, you may want to begin to extend those arms. And then as you exhale, release that forehead down on the mat. If for any reason the shoulders are extremely tight today, then bend those elbows, stack those palms, or stack your fists, and then rest that forehead down on the stacked palms or fist. If you happen to be all the way down and that feels right for you, maybe today you take a little more restorative child's pose and may even mean bringing the knees a little closer together so that your belly connects to the thighs. Resting that forehead down on the ground or even on a blanket if you have that or a block. You can extend those arms towards the back so that the back begins to dome and those shoulders begin to release and relax. So you find your way into your favorite child's pose position. Going to begin by drawing a full breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, release that breath, melting down. Inhaling through the nose, expanding the abdomen. You'll exhale. Release that breath. Another full belly breath in. Exhale to sigh that breath out. Taking the tongue, licking the lips, softening the features of our face. We'll take this next breath in through the nose. And we'll exhale. Release that breath out of the nose. As we release that breath from those nostrils, constrict the back of the throat. And you can constrict the back of the throat by taking the tip of your tongue and pressing it to the roof of your mouth. Find a soft connection, so nothing forceful. Relax the jaws, relax your cheeks, soft eyes, no wrinkling or furrowing of our eyebrows if possible. And if you want to massage the space between those eyebrows, begin to rock your head or your temple from the right side of the room over to the left, back and forth. At any point that you need to adjust where you're at, adjust where you're at. Go ahead and find some stillness here and let yourself rest. If those arms are extended to the very top of the mat and that still feels good for you, keep those arms extended. But if you want to, bring those arms to your sides. Maybe let your hands rest on the heels. Maybe let your hands massage the glutes a little. Perhaps you decide just to let those palms point up towards the sky and allow the rounding of the spine as you release the body here. Wherever you are, tune into the sound of your breath, allowing that humming, oceanic sound to consume you. As it consumes you, you're welcome to scan the body from maybe the very tips of the fingers or the crown of the head, down through the trunk and to those toes. And then reverse that direction. Maybe a giant smile appears on your face, or you allow yourself to smile. Can you let that breath go? As you observe where your body's at and how your mind feels and where the emotions are occurring, give yourself some grace here. Grace to just be present, to accept yourself as this beautiful, imperfectly perfect being. Begin to set an intention for your practice this morning. Maybe it's a small thing that you're grateful for. Sometimes it's just the ability to wake up and have that cup of coffee or your tea. Maybe it's just the ability to wake up and allow yourself 5 minutes of meditation. Whatever it is for you, full breath in here as you invite love, light, and joy into your heart. And exhale, let it all go. If the arms are to the back, on your next breath in, begin to slide the fingertips, either tenting them behind you or slide the fingertips forward, pressing them into the earth. We'll inhale, begin to lift and rise up. As we lift and rise up, walk those hands towards the top of the mat. Bring those knees back towards one another and begin to wiggle those hips from the right side of the room to the left side of the room. As you wiggle from side to side, if there's any additional movement you need, maybe those knees are a little tight, you decide to extend a leg back, you absolutely can. So invite some organic movement into your body. It may even mean a few circles with your knee in one direction and then the opposite, and you can switch it out. Whatever else feels right for you, go there. Only when you're ready, pull the shoulders away from your ears, curl your toes under, keep the hips up, but sink them maybe 2 to 3 inches back. Begin to crawl or walk those arms forward so there's a long extension. And as you exhale, you're slowly bowing the chest down, sliding those arms forward. You're looking towards your thumbs, and then now you're looking directly in front of you. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, walk your palms over towards that top right corner. Press through that left palm, exhale, bow the body down, keep the hips elevated. Typically, I always say send the hips towards the back end of the room, but today I want you to gently keep them lifted, feeling that extension through the fingertips, letting that breath go, and know that you can press the tops of the feet down onto the mat if you prefer. One more inhale here, shoulders releasing and relaxing, letting that breath go. Pressing the palms into the earth. Inhale, we lift up and walk those hands to center. Exhale, we'll begin to walk those palms over towards that top left corner. As you get to that left corner, look at your thumbs, look at your fingers. And then as you exhale, take that gaze down where it's directly in front. Release the heart down. You'll feel that length through your tricep and through your shoulder on this right arm. Hips are elevated. Breath is fluid in. And that breath releases fluidly as well. One more, just like that, breath in. And your breath out. Pressing into the palms, lift the body up. Inhale those hands, walk back towards center. Allow the tops of the feet to rest onto the mat. And as you exhale, walk those palms back towards your body. Wiggle those hips once more, right side to left side. As you take your next breath in, bring those knees close to one another, curling our toes under. We'll inhale, drop the belly down, retract those shoulders here, pause. As you pause, inhale, start to curl the heart up towards the sky, pulling those shoulders back. On your exhale, press the tops of the feet onto the mat. Grip your fingers into your mat, and then exhale, dome your spine, cat it up, bringing your chin towards your chest. Inhale, soft bend of the elbows, curling of those toes, retracting those shoulders, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, the feet press into the earth. We dome our spine. We take our gaze towards our belly button. 3 more. Inhale, cow pose. Elbows stay pointing towards the back. Exhale, we'll cat it back up. Inhale, feel that fluidness through your vertebrae as you lower it down and as you shrug the shoulders back and lift your heart up. And then exhale, feel the doming of the spine as you allow that uncoiling to occur and create space for each vertebrae. Last one, inhale, cow pose. Breathe in completely. Exhale, let that breath go completely as you press the fingers into the earth and the earth away from you. And then inhale, we'll neutralize the spine. As we neutralize the spine, curling our right toes under, we'll inhale, extend that left leg out. As we extend that left leg out, go ahead and slide the weight of the body back. Drop the ball of the foot or curling those toes under. Hug your left hip forward, and as you exhale, dome it up. As you dome up, start to rock back and forth, looking towards your belly. Unless you prefer to look forward because your shoulders feel better or your neck. As you go back and forth, feel that stretch and that length through the hamstring, through the calf, and the bottom of your foot. As you take your next breath in, sliding the weight of the body forward, looking to the top of your mat, lift and float this left leg off the ground. Cross your left leg as you exhale over towards your right side. Squeezing the thighs, let that breath go as you look over your right shoulder. You can now press the top of your right foot down on the mat if you prefer. A breath in. A breath out. Another breath in, and that breath out. As you take your next breath in, look to the top of your mat. Slide this left foot directly behind you, and then slide this left foot out towards that left edge of your mat. As it comes out to the left edge of the mat, the right foot hooks over towards center. Our fingertips begin to walk towards our body, and we'll inhale, rise up. As we rise up, draw a breath in. And if your knee is tender and you have that blanket, you can always rest your knee on that blanket if it feels comfortable. Big belly breath in here. And as we exhale, our elbows pull back and down as our thumbs reach back. Inhale, those arms reach up. Exhale, that left hand releases towards our left leg, and we can extend the right fingertips over. And you may be a little bit more upright, and that's okay. You come to your edge. You feel the length through your body. Inhaling through the nose here. Exhaling out of the nose here. On our next inhale, we come back to center. And as we exhale, we'll release the hands down to the mat. As the hands come down to the mat, walk forward. Slide this left foot towards your mat. Step this left foot to that top left corner of your mat. Your hands stay towards the inside or to the right side of your big toe. From this position, go ahead and curl or uncurl those toes. Walk the knee back. And then allow the fingertips to tent and rest on the ground, or grab that block or the books that we spoke of and place those palms there. We're really getting into the hip flexor on our right side, and we're allowing the hamstring on this left side to release. If you need a little bit more, this is where the earth can rise up to you, or you can lower down to it as you bring those elbows down. If this is too much, you'll know. Go ahead and stay lifted if you prefer. Breathe in through the nose, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, sinking into this right hip, letting that breath go. You've got two more. Breath in and that breath out. Feel the vibrancy and this life force as it enters with the breath in. Gratitude as you release that breath. And then if you have those elbows down on the mat, go ahead and lift up, bringing the palms down to the ground. Keep that right one down on your mat or on your block. Go ahead and bring this left hand to your left thigh as you exhale, looking over your shoulder. This is a place where if you have a strap, your belt, whatever it may be, you may want to toss it somewhere towards that backside, but still hold on to it. You might feel like you're lassoing your foot, and if that's the case, totally okay. Maybe slide or step the foot into it. If this still feels fine, stay here. If you need a little bit more, start to curl the heel in towards the body, holding onto your strap like it's a backpack or a purse. Strap it over this left shoulder. If this is too much for you, make that loop a little bit bigger or release the top of the foot back down to the mat. There's so many variations. If you feel like you need to open up through this left hip, go ahead and press through the pinky side blade if that feels right for you. Breath in through the nose. Breath out of the nose. Make sure you're not pulling this right shoulder up towards your ear. It's relaxing back and down. Two more inhales here. One last breath in. Slowly release that strap. As you release that strap, fingertips come down to the ground. Fingers releasing off the block if they're on that block. The strap can stay where it's at, or you can move it if it's bothering you, either or. And then you'll slowly begin to extend and straighten your left leg. As that left leg straightens, your exhale, bowing it down. And you're at a soft angle, so you're not walking your heel towards center. Inhale, looking up, pulling the shoulders back. Exhale, you bow it down. Elongation of the hamstring. Maybe begin to point the toes up towards the ceiling, or pointing your toes towards the top end of your mat, or a combination of ankle twirls, or the pinky side blade falling over towards that left side. One more breath here. And that release here. If you're bowed down, press the palms or the fingers into the earth. Inhale, we lift up. As we lift up, rebending that left knee. Slide this left foot out and then lift that left knee up for mobility and circles in each direction. Anything else that you need, go ahead and take it there. And then we'll all come into tabletop position. In that tabletop position, tops of our feet press onto the mat. Send the hips back, extend those arms forward. 3 roller coaster cat-cows. So on an inhale, Arms slide forward, elbows drop down, the chest releases to the earth, the heart lifts up towards the sky. Exhale, doming the back, releasing the hips towards the heels. Take your time. There's no rush. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, roll back. And last time, inhale, we come forward. And exhale, we dome and roll back. On our next inhale, we'll begin to lift and rise up, working our way back into that tabletop position. As we come into that tabletop position, wiggle those hips right side to left side. Curling the left toes under. We'll inhale, extend that right leg behind us. That right leg steps behind us. Drop the ball of the foot down to the mat. Curl or hug your right hip forward. So feel this connection with the hip flexor. Pressing the palms into the earth or your finger pads gripping into the ground. You'll tuck the chin close to the chest. And then you can begin to rock back and forth, finding that sensation of the calf, the bottom of your foot, and even the hamstring releasing. 2 more back and forth. And then on our next breath in, we'll pause, send the weight of the heel back. Inhale, look forward, send the weight of the body forward, lift and float your right foot. Right leg crosses over towards that left side. The toes can stay tucked. Your top of your left foot can press into the mat, and we'll exhale, look over our shoulder. As we look over the shoulders pull away from the ears, and we send this right hip over towards that right side. 1 more inhale here. And that exhale here. On your next breath in, look directly towards the top of your mat, sliding this foot directly behind you and sliding it all the way over towards your right side. Again, if you need your blanket, grab that blanket. So you grab that blanket, press through the ball or the blade of your right foot. Inhale, the hands walk towards you, and you'll circle sweep those arms up towards the sky. Relax those shoulders. Exhale, heads of the elbows pull down, the heart is up. Inhale, those arms reach up, side bend. Exhale, right hand towards that right side, and only lean over as far as the body permits. A full breath in here. A full breath out. 1 more breath in, and that breath out. On your inhale, both arms reach up towards the sky. We'll exhale, release the fingertips and the palms down to the mat. Walk forward so that you're stacking shoulders directly in line with the wrists, sliding this right foot towards your body. Step that right foot towards that top right corner of the mat. Both palms are down on the ground. The sole of the right foot is anchored into the earth. You can bring that block when you're ready, if you have it. And then slowly begin to walk this left knee back so that you have length for the hip flexor. So as we release the shoulders, as we release the hips, getting into our hip flexors will allow a little more extension and flexibility in the body. Be patient with yourself. So if something doesn't feel right, I encourage you to release. It may be that you don't need to press as far down. It may be that you need to rise up a little further. It may mean that you need to curl the back toe and lift that back knee because your knee's a little tender today. Whatever it is for you, draw a breath in. Let that breath go. Feel the length of the hamstring on this right leg. Feel the release of your hip flexor on this left leg. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. If your elbows are down on the mat or your elbows are on your block, on your next breath in, place your palms down on the ground or on your block. Inhale as you lift up, bringing that right hand towards your right thigh. Exhale, looking over the shoulder. If you have your strap, grab that strap, lasso your foot. You lasso that foot only when you're ready, holding onto your strap, your towel, whatever it may be. Bringing the heel towards the body. So you bring the heel towards the body, return and take that gaze directly forward. Bring the strap over this right shoulder. Allow the meatier part of your left knee to rest on the mat versus the kneecap itself. You'll find more comfort if you're able to go there. Use the towel, use a blanket, whatever you need to support your body. Breath in. Breath out. Another full breath in and that full breath out. Slowly begin to release. As you release, the strap falls over to one side. Your fingertips either return to the block or down to the mat. Look forward as you inhale, and as you exhale, walk your fingertips towards you as you straighten your right leg. Inhale, looking towards the front of the room or the top of your mat. Then exhale, bowing it down. The hamstring is now opening up furthermore. You can begin to flex the toes, point the toes, a few circles with the ankle in one direction, then the opposite, or find stillness. As you find stillness here, you're working with your connective tissue, the fascia, and that allows more of this softer yin-like side of us. As we move dynamically, that works with our yang portion of our body. And we're getting a combination of both here. So breathe in and breathe out. On your next breath in, press into your fingertips and those palms, lifting up, rebending that right knee. The hands anchor us down. We'll slowly begin to slide this right leg behind us. And as that right leg comes behind us, any movement that you need for mobility and fluidity of the hip, take it. Anything that's in your way, feel free to move out of your way. As you allow the knee to move back and forth or side to side, you'll return the knee down to the mat, wiggling your hips right side to left side. We'll go ahead and tuck those toes under, work the weight of the body back. On our next breath in, lift the knees off the earth, lift the hips up towards the sky, exhale into a downward facing dog. As you come into downward facing dog, begin to march or paddle your feet out, bending that right knee. Keeping that left leg straight, switching that out. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out of the nose if possible. One more inhale here as you march. And then exhale, we'll find stillness in our downward facing dog. I'll let your head get heavy here. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Do your very best not to press into the heels of the hands. Instead, press into the pads of your fingers and the knuckles of your hand to alleviate any discomfort in the wrist. On your next breath in, lift those heels up nice and high. Bend those knees generously, looking towards the top of the mat. Either walk your feet towards those thumbs, or if you need to, walk your hands towards your feet instead. Exhale, whichever route you took as a forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, a flat back. Ardha Uttanasana, meaning half lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, folding all the way down. Crown of the head pointing towards the earth. Walking our feet apart, hip width distance or more. Grabbing our elbows for ragdoll, keeping that generous spin in the knees as we sway side to side or front of the mat to back of the mat. Feel yourself bend those knees and dip the chest down. Wiggle the frame if you need. And then when you're ready, find complete stillness just for an inhale at least. Feel the puffing of the abdomen as you breathe in, and feel the weight of the body decompress as you exhale. Pour out any thoughts that no longer serve your higher purpose. So visualize a trapdoor opening up, crown of the head, and you release it. Invite whatever it is that you feel is necessary for the greater good of you. When you're ready, close that trapdoor, let that breath go. Release the fingertips down to the earth. Inhale, you'll lift up halfway. Heel toe your feet all the way back towards one another, a soft bend of the knees, and we'll inhale. Slide the fingertips along the shin bones up towards the knees until you're nice and tall. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, and then inhale, lift those arms up towards the sky. The palms will kiss, and we'll exhale, bring our hands into prayer and at heart space. Draw a breath in, pull your shoulders up. Let that breath go, let the shoulders drop back down. Inhale, bending the knees, circle sweeping the arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. And as you exhale, extend and lean your body over towards this right side. Inhale, we'll come back to center, switching that grip out. Exhale, we'll lean over towards our left side now. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll pull the heads of our elbows down. Inhale, we'll extend and reach the arms up, and then exhale, bending those knees, forward fold, planting the palms down. Step back with that right foot, leave that right palm down on the mat, align that left knee with your left ankle, and then inhale, lift up towards the sky with your left hand. Only when you're ready, you'll exhale, release the palm back down, step back into a downward facing dog. If you were at the back of your mat, just walk to the top of the mat whenever we come back into that downward facing dog. On your next breath in, lift your heels, roll the vertebrae forward, release to your knees immediately. Pull those elbows in, reach through the crown of the head, stay strong through your belly, and then you'll exhale, lower your heart all the way down. As you lower your heart down, if your back is tight and tender, take your legs out a little wider. If your back is fine, you can keep those thighs nice and tight. Release the fingertips beyond your mat, sliding the fingers back, pulling the shoulders down. Inhale, lift up. Might be half an inch, it might be 5 inches. Find where it feels right for you and keep the tops of your feet down on the mat. Exhale, release and lower down. Inhale, we'll lift up. On your exhale, dip your right shoulder down to the middle of the mat. Look over towards your left side. Maybe you gently shrug the shoulder back and down, finding that release to the scapula or the erector. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll switch it out. Our left shoulder drops down, pull it back. Looking over towards that right side, breathe in through the nose, breathe out of the nose. Inhale, we'll return back to center. Exhale, we'll lower the heart back down. Release your fingers, bring those palms back to your breastbone. Walk those thighs close to one another. Either tuck the toes or leave the tops of the feet onto the mat, but pull your elbows in. Inhale, we'll rise up to plank on our knees. To exhale, child's pose. Let the knees either spread nice and wide or keep those thighs close to one another and release the head down. A full breath in here. That big release out. Notice what's going on. Is there stillness in your body? Do the hands feel like they want to wrap around towards the heels and round the back? Do you prefer that activeness as the palms reach forward? Last inhale here, last exhale here. As you take your next breath in, rising up, palms anchor into the earth, hips slide forward, knees come close to one another. Tucking our toes, we'll exhale, tilt into a downward facing dog. As we take our next breath in, we'll lift the heels, bend our knees, either walk forward or walk towards your feet, but exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melting the heart back down. Separating our feet once more, wider than hip width distance, so take it out a little further. Maybe beyond the edges of your mat or to the edges of your mat. Bend your right knee. As you bend that right knee, anchor your right fingertips down on a block or not. And then inhale, pull that left arm up towards your left shoulder and then extend that left arm up towards the sky. A breath in here, a breath out here. One more. And then exhale, switch it out. Left hand goes down. As that left hand comes down, we'll bend that left knee, straight right leg, bring that right arm to the right shoulder, and then extend and reach up. If you've gone beyond the range of motion, bring it back. It's almost like you're trying to press your right hand towards that right side. One more inhale, and then exhale, release and lower down. As we release and lower down, remove whatever is necessary, and then heel toe your feet back towards one another. On our next inhale, begin to roll up, leading your gaze towards your navel until you rise nice and tall, looking forward. Inhale, those arms reach up. Exhale, those palms come into heart center. Breath in through the nose. Breath out of the nose. If you're at the back of your mat, walk to the top. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up. Exhale, pull your elbow heads down, send the thumbs back. Inhale, extend and reach the arms up. Exhale, bending those knees, folding forward. Leave your right foot at the top of the mat. Step back with that left foot. Pivot that left foot for warrior two stance. Take your time as you bring your left piece fingers to the mat and that right hand to that right thigh. And then inhale, cartwheel and rise all the way up. So this back leg needs to be at about an 85-degree angle. It's almost like a little pizza pie. And then this front right knee can be 90-degree angle, or it can be a little bit less, your choice. Just make sure your knee is in line with the heel and that you haven't gone beyond. Breath in as those palms press down, breath out. Back hand goes down, flip that right palm, inhale, reverse the warrior. Do your best not to hyperextend the body because I want you to bend this right elbow, pat the back. Inhale, your left arm reaches up. If possible, grab the head or the tip of this right elbow with your left hand. Looking in any direction that it feels right for your neck. Breathe in through your nose. Sit into the pose. On your next inhale, release. Extend both arms up. Straighten that front leg. Exhale, the arms come parallel as we set up for triangle. Reach the fingertips forward. Kickstand this left hip towards that left edge of the room. And then if you'd like, tick-tock your arms to the 6 and to the 12. Many times, if it's uncomfortable, you might want to bring this right hand to the hip crease and then gently rotate the right rib cage around and over as you extend that left arm up. Or if your shoulder's tired, bring that left hand to your hip. whichever feels right for you. One more inhale here, not pressing into the knee. Let that breath go. On your next inhale, reverse the warrior. Bend the knee, trace or travel that right thumb back. And then exhale, extended side angle. The forearm can rest on the thigh as you inhale, lift and extend that left arm up. Once more, don't go beyond the shoulder range. Keep that arm in line with your body. So maybe bring your fingertips towards your shoulder and then inhale, extend that left arm up. One more breath here. Let it go. Inhale, reverse it. And then exhale, come into that warrior two. From your warrior two, your hands to your hips. Spin all 10 toes to point towards that left edge of your mat. As your toes point towards that left edge of your mat, you can bend those knees just so you can find a little movement for the body. Breathing in through the nose. We'll exhale, tilt the heart forward, send that gaze down and back, and then release the hands down to the mat. Maybe slide those palms towards your shin bones, your ankles, or even massaging the hamstring and the glutes. All on your breath and time, you'll lift up halfway, and you'll exhale, bow it down. One more breath in, and breath out. If your fingertips are on your hamstrings or on your thighs, release the fingertips down. Inhale, lift up halfway. As we lift up halfway, spin the toes to point towards the corners of the room like a pizza. Let your heels melt towards the front, and then inhale, rise up for a little goddess pose. We won't be here long, but we are going to release the hips a little bit more. On your exhale, bring the hands to the thighs. Make sure you're not pressing into your knees, but the inner thighs or maybe the outer thighs. Breath in. And then exhale, your right shoulder can drop down as you open and extend through the adductor on this right leg. Inhale back to center. Exhale, switch it out. Inhale back to center. Exhale, just allow yourself to release here. On your next breath in, star pose, straighten those legs, extending those arms up towards the sky. A breath in. And then on that exhale, the arms are parallel. We'll kickstand this left foot towards that 85-degree angle. We'll point our right toes forward and then inhale, those arms reach forward. Exhale, release and lower the palms to frame your right foot. Spin so that you're on the ball of your left foot and then step back into downward facing dog. March or paddle those feet out back and forth. Maybe elongate through the crown. And then inhale, roll into plank, down to our knees, hugging the elbows in. We'll exhale, lower all the way down. So we lower all the way down. Hands stay close to our breastbone at the elbows pulled out. Pull those elbows in, even if it's a soft tuck. Inhale, we lift up for a little baby cobra. Maybe for you, it's a couple of inches. Maybe it's less. Can you float your hands off the mat? Find softness or little to no weight on those fingers into the earth if they're down on the mat. One more inhale, and then exhale, release and lower down. As you release and lower down, bring those thighs towards one another. Tuck those elbows back in. Inhale, lift up onto your knees, and then exhale, take that child's pose. As you take your child's pose, draw a breath in. Let that breath go. Once more, hands can come towards the back, or if you prefer, those fingertips stay active towards the tip top of your mat. Breath in through the nose and that breath out. As you take your next breath in, rise back up into your tabletop. From that tabletop, exhale into downward facing dog. So curling those toes, lifting your knees, tilting the hips up into this inverted V. On your next breath in, lifting the heels, bending those knees, look forward. Either walk your feet towards the thumbs or you got it, walk your hands towards your toes. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, lift it up halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, rise up, doming the spine, sliding the hands along the outside edges of the thighs until you rise up tall. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, heads of the elbows pull down. Inhale, those arms reach up. And now exhale, forward fold, bending those knees. Palms stay down on the mat. Keep that left foot where it's at. Step back with your right leg. Once you step back, go ahead and bring that block if you need it. And if you do, use it. Spin that back leg for warrior two. Take your time as you use the block to lift you up, bringing that left hand to your thigh without colliding. And then inhale, rise up. As you rise up, find your warrior two position. Align this left heel with the arch of your right foot. Press through the right blade of your foot and extend those fingertips actively. Back hand goes down. Flip that left palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Remember, we're not trying to create this this destruction or this intensity with our low spine, because we'll bend this left elbow and we'll inhale, reach that right arm up, grabbing the tip of the elbow. You're sending the fingertips down the spine so that you can open up the trap in the shoulder, the tricep and the shoulder. A breath in here and a breath out here. Soft toes, one more. Let that breath go. On an inhale, the arms release up. We'll straighten our front leg, and then exhale, those arms are parallel to the ground. If you know you need to let the hands come to the hips, let those hands come to your hips. Otherwise, reach forward, press the hip back, and then tick-tock those hands. If you happen to have your block there, use the block to extend the fingertips up. If your arm went beyond that range, bring your fingertips back to your shoulders, point that elbow head up, and then inhale, the arm reaches up and the palm points towards your left side. Your right side. Breath in, breath out. One more, breath in, breath out. On your next inhale, reverse. Bend your front knee, trace the thumb back, and then exhale, extended side angle. If at any point your stance is too wide, shorten it. Bringing the forearm to the thigh, inhale, lift that right arm up. Big inhale here. Feel the strength that you have, even though you're being gentle with your intake of the breath and the position of your body. Last inhale. Let that breath go. On our next breath in, we'll reverse the warrior one final time, and we'll exhale, bring the arms parallel. Hands come to our hips. Once more, spinning the blades of your feet to point towards the left edge of the mat. Those knees can bend. And on your exhale, bow that heart down. As you bow that heart down, if you have your block, you may want to grab it. It may be that now you can release the forearms down on the block, or it may be that you bring those elbows down to the block instead. Lift it up to the height that feels best to you, so the earth rises to meet you. You're not forcing the body to lower beyond its capacity today or any day. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out of the nose. One more inhale here. And that breath out. If you happen to have a block, your book, whatever it may be, maybe those fingertips come towards that block. Lift the chest up, spin the heels in, point the toes out, sit the hips low, goddess pose as you rise up. In your goddess pose, exhale, pull the elbows down to the sides. One more inhale here. Let that breath go, then inhale, rise up to star. As you rise up to star, can you lift the heels off the mat? Soft bend of the knees. And then we'll exhale, drop the heels down. Arms come parallel once more. Kickstand that back right heel, point the left toes, bend that front knee. Inhale, the arms start to reach up. That allows this right hip to pop and open up. Then exhale, the hands come down. They'll frame this left foot. So we frame that left foot. Inhale, extend and lift that left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, left hand down to the mat. Slide or step this left foot to the back of the mat so that you can exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll into plank, down to our knees. Exhale, we'll lower our body all the way down. So we lower all the way down. Inhale, we'll rise up for baby cobra or even cobra pose. Keep those elbows tucked in, send the shoulders back. A breath in and that breath out. One more. And then exhale, release and lower down. Bring those palms in front. As you bring the palms in front, bend those elbows, rest your forehead down on the stacked palms and bend those knees as you sway side to side. Take a breath in here. Let that breath go. Another inhale here. Letting that breath go. Slowly begin to extend and release the legs nice and long. Slide those hands back to your breastbone. Your forehead is down on the mat. Inhale, you rise up for that plank on the knees. 2, you got it. Exhale, child's pose. Slip the hips back. And if you need to keep your hips elevated because something's going on, keep the hips elevated. That's completely fine. Relax and release. Come back to the breath if you've lost that connection. Come back to the intention if you'd like. Let your back release. Let your body decompress. One more breath in here, and we'll let that breath go. Bringing the palms forward, we'll inhale, rise up into our tabletop position. Curling our toes, we'll tilt our hips up for that downward facing dog. And if you want to keep that generous spin in the knees, keep that generous spin in the knees or march it out. But when you're ready, lifting the heels up high, bending those knees a little more if necessary, looking forward, walking the feet towards the thumbs or taking your hands towards your heels. Exhale for your fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale for your fold. And then inhale, we'll reverse and rise all the way up. Palms up towards the sides, up to the sky. Exhale the hands into prayer and at our heart space. Close your eyes here, draw a breath in. And as you exhale, let that breath go out of the mouth. Release those arms to your sides. All on your time, blink those eyes open and let your arms release. As you let those arms release, anchor through that left foot. And as you anchor through that left foot, tilt or bend that right knee. Turn or spin the right knee out. If the entire body twisted, then that means you may have gone a little too far. So just open up as much as you need and come into tree pose for the first variation. Ball of the foot to the ground, heel somewhere in line with the ankle bone. If this is enough for you, stay right here. Maybe this is enough for you, and then you focus on closing the eyes. Sometimes that's a little harder. The other option is lift the foot, bring the sole of the foot somewhere between the ankle bone and below your kneecap. So make sure you're not pressing into the knee joint. If your hip pushed out towards this left side, let your hip come back in line. Feel that strength, and those arms can go anywhere it feels right for you. Third phase, if you want to bring it up higher, bring it up higher. And if those two don't sound great to you, you can also use a block and allow that block to lift your foot up so that you begin to work your way to where that foot has the ability to come towards that space between the ankle and that knee. This may be enough for you. Your tree branches are up and above. You're strong through your hip. Whatever feels right. You're only here. Another inhale. And then that exhale, the hands release to the sides. Let yourself release that right foot down. Lift that left ankle. Couple of circles with your left ankle in one direction and then the opposite direction. Lowering the sole of that or anchoring to the sole of your right foot. If you want that block immediately, you might want to bring it in. When you're ready, bend that left knee, turn that left knee out. Again, if the hip spun, less of a rotation and more of keeping the hip point squared. Draw the navel up and in. First tree pose, coming into the ball of the foot into the earth or on your block, or that second one. You might want to lift it up a little higher. So if that's the case for you on one side versus the other. Arms anywhere it feels right. Breath in, breath out. Some people like to close their eyes, again, at your discretion. Another inhale here. Keep the hip in line. Let that breath go. Palms come together. Exhale, hands at prayer and at your heart space. Release and lower the left leg down. As you lower that left leg down, a couple of circles with that right ankle. If you happen to move to the wall or anywhere beyond the top of your mat, come back to the top of the mat. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, pull your elbows down. Inhale, those arms reach up, and we'll exhale, forward fold. Palms come down to the mat, stepping back into a downward facing dog, and then exhale, releasing those knees to the earth, slipping the hips back for that child's pose. A breath in, and that breath out. Visually or mentally check in, see where you're at. Are you clenching the jaw? You being forceful with the features of the face? And if the answer is yes, can you soften? All on your time, you'll rise up and release the hips to one side so that you can swing or sweep your legs forward, and we work our way onto our back. As we come down to the back, we'll roll the body. We'll bring those knees in towards our heart. We'll slowly begin to rock side to side or trace circles in the ceiling with those knees in each direction. Lowering the sole of your left foot down. Inhale, extend that right leg up. Either take your strap or with your hands, interlace around the hamstring. Couple of circles with this right ankle in each direction. And then exhale, releasing, crossing that right ankle on top of that left quad. You may stay right here. You're welcome to lift the sole of that left foot and thread the needle as you interlace the hands around the hamstring. Flex the right toes for protection of the knee. Do your best not to let the weight come over to the right side, but keep it neutral. So that may mean that you need to slowly release the tailbone down. If you need a little bit more, pull that left knee in towards your body with the strength of your arms, but do your best not to release the flexion of that right foot. Inhale through your nose here. And out of the nose unless you need a cleansing breath. 2 more inhales. And that last inhale. Releasing the bind or the hamstring, lowering the sole of that left foot down. Inhale, that right leg goes up. A few circles with this right ankle in each direction, and then bend that right knee in towards your body. Bring your right arm towards the inner portion of your thigh and grab the blade, the pinky side of your right foot for a little half happy baby. If your back is lifted off the ground, use a pillow or a blanket to support it. And if your left leg is bent and it feels fine, stay as you are. But if you want to extend it long, you can extend it long. You might even want to play with that position. Breathe in through the nose here and breathe out. Just 1 more inhale and that exhale. If you happen to have your strap handy, if you happen to have that towel handy, release the right foot, step the ball of the foot into your strap, straighten that right leg up towards the sky. Make sure you're not on the arch of the foot. Make sure you're somewhere around the ball of the foot and not squeezing that little pinky toe. Go ahead and walk the hands up towards the strap. Extend if you'd like that left leg, or keep that left knee bent if that feels better on your hip points. Wherever you are, just enjoy it. And if this is too much on your arms, you can always slide your hands down the strap or your towel so where the back of your arms, so those triceps, press into the mat instead. Some people find this a little bit more relaxing versus extending the arms and pulling. So wherever you need to go, invite yourself there. 1 more breath in and that breath out. And you're going to bring the band together if you have that band, or if you have a towel, have that towel. You'll extend and hold on to your towel, your strap with your right hand. Take that left arm out to the left side. Again, if your left leg is bent, that's fine. But if you want to extend it, and then find a greater angle with your right foot. Breathe in through the nose and release this right leg over towards that right side. Tricep can rest on the mat so that there's a little bit more anchoring. If you need more, pull the toes closer towards your head or towards the back end of the mat. If you need less, release the strap somewhat. Do your very best not to lift this left hip off the ground, so that left hip has that length. And if you need to keep the left knee bent, keep that left knee bent. Breath in, breath out. 1 more. Let that breath go. Your next breath in, look directly up towards the ceiling. Bring this right leg back in with you, and then bend the knee, step out of the strap, a couple of circles with the ankle in each direction. And then we'll inhale, extend the arms over our head and extend that right leg towards the top of the mat so that it meets the left. Arch the spine if you'd like. And then exhale, those arms come out to the sides in the letter T first. Walking those heels over towards your left side of the room, you'll cross that left ankle over that right ankle. And then inhale, arms reach over the head, walk your ribs towards that left side to continue to release this right side of the body. You're working with the side of the body, the hip flexor. Breath in and a breath out. All on your time. Begin by looking back up towards the ceiling, releasing those arms back into letter T, walking that spine neutrally, letting that left leg release from the right, walking the heels back towards center. Exhale, bend both the right and the left knee. Untuck that tailbone as you take your next breath in. That left leg goes up towards the sky. Your hands interlace around the left hamstring. A couple of circles with the ankle if you'd like. And then pausing when you're ready, cross that ankle over. As you cross that ankle over, figure 4. Staying here, lifting that right foot off the ground, threading the needle, fingers interlace, and wrap around your hamstring. Distribute the weight on the hips evenly if possible. Flex the left toes. Check in with yourself. Are you restricting the breath? Are you going beyond your own edge? Perhaps you're being extremely mindful. You're giving yourself some love here, that gratitude. Two more inhales if possible for you. Last breath in. Releasing the interlacing of the hands, lowering the sole of your right foot down. You'll inhale, extend and lift that left leg up. Bend the left knee in towards the armpit, left shoulder towards the inside as you take that half happy baby. Decide what you want to do with this right leg, knee bent, leg long, any format or variation. Feel yourself supported by the earth. And this half happy baby, feel the release of the back of the hamstring and that gluten hamstring attachment, just right at the crease of the buttocks and where the back of our leg begins. Last inhale here, and that last exhale here. When you're ready, releasing, extending this left leg up towards the sky. Bending the knee, stepping into your strap if you have it, or you can also just interlace around the hamstring, your choice. Back of the triceps can anchor into the mat. Angle can be greater than 90 degrees or less than, just depends on your body. Right leg can be long, right knee can be bent. Bringing the strap together, hold onto that belt or your towel with your left hand, right arm goes out towards that right side. As you inhale, release this left leg towards that left side of the room without lifting your right hip up. So always you can release a little bit more. If you happen to have something that you can prop the leg on, know that you can absolutely go there. There's a soft external rotation, meaning that your left hip has rotated outward, not almost, like you've turned that dial out. One last inhale here. Letting the breath go. As you take your next breath in, look back up towards the ceiling. A soft bend of the knee is completely fine as you bring this right leg back to center. As this right leg comes back up towards center, bend the knee, release the strap, release your foot from being inside the strap. Guide that knee in towards your chest, and then inhale, extend the arms over your head, extend that left leg towards the top of the mat, big morning stretch. Exhale, the arms come into that letter T. As the arms come to letter T, the heels begin to walk over towards your right side. Cross that right ankle on top of the left. And then when you're ready, begin to extend your arms over your head so that you can slide the ribs over towards that right side. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can slide the ribs over and then you can slowly bend this left elbow and then maybe bring that right hand to your belly if that feels better. Breathe in through your nose. and out of your nose if possible. One more. Let it go. If you're holding onto the wrist, release those arms. Come back parallel. Work the weight of the body to center to neutralize your spine. Release that right leg from the left and walk those heels back towards center. Inhale, your arms reach over the head, bending those knees. Slowly begin to untuck that tailbone. Let your legs sway if you'd like, side to side, as you keep those elbows softly bent. All on your breath and time, tuck the knees in towards the heart. Give yourself a nice little hug. You give yourself this nice squeeze. You'll exhale, release, lowering your back down to the mat. Arms out to the sides, and the letter T will exhale. Take a little supine twist. Knees falling over towards the right. Looking over towards the left when it feels comfortable. Inhale, we return back to center. Exhale, we'll let our knees fall over towards the left side now. Inhaling through the nose, returning back to center. Allow yourself to wrap the hands around the hamstrings, lift the head up off the earth, bringing those knees as close to your face, whether it's the chin, the nose, or the forehead, for a nice rounding and hug. On the inhale, you'll release, and as you exhale, find your final resting place of Shavasana. Heels can extend towards the corners of your mat as your arms rest to your sides, or if you've got pillows that you want to rest your legs on, rest your legs on those pillows or any other item that you have handy. Wherever you are, breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, let the breath go. Decompress. Give yourself permission to rest and nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit. Enjoying these next moments, the gift you gave yourself this morning. Bringing awareness to your space, to your physical presence. Begin by taking a full breath in through your nose. Letting that breath go. Combining movement back into the fingers, the toes, wrists, and ankles. Staying here longer if your heart is craving a longer Shavasana. You can begin to awaken the neck and the spine as you move your head from the right side of the room to the left side of the room a few times. And then returning into a neutral spine, you'll inhale, extend those arms over your head, yawn if you have a yawn. And as you exhale, tucking the knees in towards the heart, begin to roll over towards that right side. As you come into that fetal position, breathe in through your nose here, let that breath go. And then guiding yourself into a comfortable seated position, facing anywhere you arrive. Allowing the hands to either come into heart space and in prayer, or perhaps taking those palms, creating an X, allowing the thumbs to join, bringing both the right and the left hand over your heart. You'll breathe in through your nose. And you'll exhale that breath out and bow the chin towards the chest. Only when you're ready, blinking those eyes open. We'll bring the hands back into prayer and at our heart space. We'll exhale, bow to each other in our journey. The divine in me salutes and honors the divine love and light in each of you. May you have a wonderful day and a beautiful weekend ahead. From my heart to yours, namaste.